And we are live. What is good, YouTube? We is back for another joint doing pre-game talk with our team. Tonight is like game two against the Raps and the good guys. Today or right now, I have on here with me my guy Q. If you guys do not know, he was with me in like one of my early, earlier joins last year, when I gave my live thoughts when like we lost against the Hawks. So Q, if you want, you can introduce yourself to the lovely folks of YouTube.
How you doing, guys? This is my first official video. Pretty excited. Let's get it going.
Let's go. Okay, so um, what are your main thoughts or takeaways from game one? As y'all know, the team won by like what 30 points. And our boy Tyrese Maxey stepped up big time. Now, as y'all know, like I always say that I was wrong about Bull. Now like real talk, I definitely knew he was going to be great, but I didn't think he would be great so soon. And like the fact that Bull what drops 38 points, shoots 68 per percent from three. His first start in the actual playoffs was just crazy. So, what's your thoughts on game one going into game two?
Yeah, Maxi was spectacular, man. Hitting that three ball, getting to the into the paint at will. Fred VanVleet does not seem to be able to stay in front of him. It'd be interesting to see if Toronto tries to throw some different types of coverages at us, just to keep us out of the paint. And we'll see if they stop selling so hard for Embiid and Harden. So
Mm.
it's gonna be big. I my major takeaways from game one, I really liked how we attacked their usual advantages. We basically took away all of that stuff. That shows me sign of a great few days of coaching, and then we went
Points
out
too,
and
right?
executed. So I've been on Glenn Rivers, been on him for his last 2 years, and he
Facts.
really impressed me in game one, and the team went out and executed. So that was a um, my major takeaway. I hope to see if we can keep that up, and yeah, well, we'll see. I'm not counting the Raptors out just yet.
No facts, facts,
I got
facts,
to
facts.
see. I got to see it a little more, man.
Uh, my thing was like I loved how like even though it's like still going to be a long road. I enjoyed the fact that Glenn came out um adjusting. One, Bull let three rings green, start a head of Mud like Tease. And like I thought that was smart. Just like just like based off of the fact that like we don't have Tease going into those road games, so folks
Yeah,
might as well just get used to not not having him start. Even though Green, I think Bull made like what 2 points. He didn't have that much of a offensive impact. But like just getting used to that was great. He also played b-ball Paul. After
yeah.
he said I will never ever do it. Um, the b-ball tall, b-ball Paul, Vic, Vic, victory tour begins. And I'm glad about that. Going into game two, honestly, I'm trying to end this joint now, yo. Like the fact that supposedly um Toronto has like three guys out. One Barnes, two um Gary Trent being sick, and then I think Thad Young. Um, I feel as though like it's our time just to take the reins and get this over with, right? Like there is blood in the actual water. Um, I don't think you know. Um, I don't think we should delay this more than we have to. So tonight should be a must-win game, in like my humble opin, humble opin, opinion. Just because I can't see us losing this game after having this advantage and then going back to Toronto with like with like them having all of the momentum. Um, it shall be interesting to see how Glenn coaches this joint.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if we'll be the team that's going to respond to the adjustments as opposed to the one that's putting something out there that the other team has to respond to. Like, I feel like far too often in game ones, we're usually on the latter, or I'm sorry, we're usually on the other side of it, where it's we get blitzed by something, and it takes us a while to figure out what we're going to do against it. Happened last year, game one against Atlanta.
That's right.
I feel like it happened during the Brett Brown era, game one against Toronto. But yeah, it was great to see that we're on the other side of that now, and I hope that we can come out and again put the pressure on them to find an answer to what we're doing on the court, as opposed to having to figure out what we need to do to stop them if they're getting out to a good run. It'd be interesting to see with all the bantering and complaining Nick Nurse has been doing recently,
right?
If the refs are coming out with
a newfound,
I guess, calling it a little different.
Right.
I just hope we just come out and just play hard and stop like looking for the whistle. I feel like sometimes we can get carried away with that. And just try to dominate, impose our will.
Speaking of Nurse, like I can't fault him just for complaining, because that's his job, right? Like I saw. Sorry.
Yeah. A lot of like championship tier coaches will do that. You see it through.
Right.
Phil Jackson used to do that stuff. Whoever, Greg Popovich. It's just the name of the game, man. Try to get whatever advantage you can.
Right. And we'll see though. Like I feel as though he was saying how he kept on emphasizing the word legal defensive position, as if Embiid still isn't allowed to be physical with them as well. My thing is if you're going to try to enforce your will upon Embiid, you have to expect that force back.
You can't play these 6'8", 6'9" guys and just hope to get away with that, man. It's gonna have some drawbacks.
Right.
And that if he continues to play like that, I mean, they don't really have anyone on the roster to throw at Joel for extended minutes who can guard him alone or guard him with, I guess, a more delayed help or double team. Seems like they come instantly on the catch, and again, that opens up for everybody else on the team. So it'll be interesting if they try to switch it up a little bit or just rely on the refs to call the game differently. But yeah, we'll see.
Did anything at all shock you game one? In terms of how we played, or how
Yeah. I feel like
efficient,
Tobias
ball shot was. Yeah.
defense on Pascal he played pretty good actually.
Mm.
I feel like it's always hard to guard him because I just feel like he pushes off every single time he drives to the rim.
Chicken wings,
And
John.
then
Chicken wings.
yeah, he does that. Like you can count how many times he does that per game. But refs weren't calling it, but it is what it is. But Tobias still played him pretty tough straight up. So if it's interesting, they actually started the game with Siakam at the 5, I believe, and then I guess because Joel was so chaotic in grabbing the rebounds and controlling the paint that they had to change that up real quick. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Tobias can keep that up, if he's still the primary defender. And yeah, that was the biggest surprise for me. I felt like Siakam was killing us in the previous the regular season games, and he kind of held them in check a little bit.
What like shocked me was like more like so and like kind of going to your like first point, the fact that like we came out with like energy, bro. Like
Yeah.
you're like that like our teams or the Sixers historically they play down to competition, especially in large moments, and the fact that like Embiid was hyping up the like the crowd 3 minutes into that John just showed how like much he's grown, one, and like two shows the amount of the like amount of home court advantage that we have. Now to be fair, I was low key scared going into the third or like going to the middle of the third, just because like Toronto was making that like making that run. And I was telling Niall that like, yo, we've seen this game before, yo. Like going up by like 20 plus and allowing 18 just to come back. But as we know, our boy Max stepped up, and I don't, bro, 38 points, that's like OD, dog. Like
he's next up, man.
He has to be. He has to be. Question though. So so if like y'all don't know, Quadric is the one who took me off the ledge, right? So like going into this year, I had no hope for this team. Now, not saying that I didn't think Bulls were going to be good, right? But like my thing was, I don't see us being a competitive playoff team with us putting so much responsibility in a second year guard, because we are like just as Bulls know, guards are probably the most important players in this league. I just didn't think that that like that I didn't think that Maxey was ready for that. But like you and my pop said, like said, yo, there's a chance that like this kid can be great. What made you think that from jump?
I just felt like first and foremost, like if you're playing with Joel Embiid, like you don't really have to do much. You see how good Seth Curry was looking, or how good Seth Curry looked to start the year. It's just Joel's never had that threat outside who can run a 2-man game with him at this extent. Now we have a few players who can do that. And then Maxey's skill set alone, like I've always said, he reminds me a little bit about like Tony Parker, like early young Tony Parker. His finishing ability, touch from the rim. I feel like the one thing he lacks in that regards is the footwork. to the basket. But yeah, he's fearless. He'll drive into the lane no matter who's down there. And then Doc really pushed him to see the floor better, to be a better playmaker, realizing that it's not always most beneficial for him to put the shot up. But yeah, I've just been loving his growth. The 3-pointer, man. I have to be honest, I didn't see that coming that fast.
68% or like 62,
Third,
like
yeah,
game one.
third in the league. I think in 3-point percentage, and it's not like he's just taking wide open jumpers, man. He's
Right.
step backs. You saw he's showing the range yesterday with the logo 3. Like he's got the whole package, man. I'm looking forward to him. If they do begin to close up the lane a little bit, we start working that mid-range game a little bit more, because I know that's something that he can do at a high level. Yeah, man, I'm just very excited about this young kid, man.
Right now, I think Maxey is more of an asset than James. Teams put more focus on him because of his reputation, but I think Maxey is better. What would you say to that? Because we all know you don't like Harden. Well, you were a
I've never been a
Harden
fan of this game. I just don't think I understood his playmaking ability.
Who, James
while he
is?
was in Houston, I didn't really see it that much until he got traded to Brooklyn. But yeah, I don't like the isolation game. It's just way too reliant on step backs. And then right around when we first traded for him, I went back to watch some of his old Rockets. Like I watched like entire series of like playoff series, and I tried to understand how he used to play like pre D'Antoni, and he had so much more of an all around game. Like I don't understand like why D'Antoni like influenced him to take out that mid range game, because he had a really good mid range game. He was a little more reliant on the floater a few years ago. It just seems like these are easy things that he could take advantage of now, instead of just resorting to trying to drive into traffic and get a foul, or put up a step back 3. Now the threes, if he's taking like 7 a game, which is like, I guess that's pretty much where he's been since he's been here. He hasn't been in his Houston days. He was taking like 13 a game, 14 a game. It's been like that high volume, average efficiency type shooter, even though the degree of difficulty for his shots has always been higher than the average player. But like, he can take those 6, 7 step back threes a game. I don't care about that as much. But it's the driving, man. It just seems like every time he drives, he doesn't really use his right hand that much. And it seems like he has an easier lane if he just goes up with the right. He'll try to go up with his left and try to put that push shot that he does and try to get the contact with it. It's just frustrating sometimes. But I have to acknowledge, like, the defenses are definitely keying in on him, which is why it's when he's more focused on spreading the ball around, getting those assists, and being the playmaker. I just think we're better suited as a team for him to play like that. And that's how you got Maxey able to go off. That's how you got Tobias getting easy looks that he has to continue to make those quick decisions and knock down the open shots. But yeah, I think he can be the engine that runs an elite offense. I just don't think that 30 points per game score is ever
gonna be him again.
Turn, or I just don't think that's necessary at this point in time. Maybe if Maxey's having a really tough one, Tobias is having a really tough one, we might need you to get a little bit more aggressive. But I really enjoyed what he did on the floor yesterday, even though it looks like he didn't shoot really well. When you realize a lot of those missed shots were those missed layups, and I feel like some of them he does get fouled on and it's not called. But again, he's like relying on the refs to make that decisions as opposed to just playing basketball. But yeah, how do you feel about?
First off, Bull saying Q is spitting. That Bull spitting hot fire. Yeah, bro, he talk, bro. I'm telling you, yo, we
Yeah,
have friends who like talk ball, like Bulls
yeah,
does
yeah.
this stuff, dog. Like fans just like from like way back. Um, but my thoughts on James so far, I think he's playing relatively well for his role. I like do think he did step in, for Ben in a perfect manner. Um, like I've been saying on my videos, I think he has been honestly doing what Ben does facilitation wise. With the lack of the defense. I like will say that like his overall stat line has been better than Ben, and at this point, to like your point, I feel as though once the shots hit, then like it's gravy for the offense, just because everything else has been playing well. Though, like I do think that a lot of his game now is dependent on the foul calls. Um,
Yeah.
so like
That's a bit concerning. That's why I think
right.
yeah. Although he's shown flashes, well,
Mm.
especially in game one where he can just drive to the rim really hard and just try to score the basket as opposed to looking. It feels like you can tell when he's looking for a foul, man.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
the defender's on his hip. He's gonna go up with that left hand and try to do that push shot or floater, whatever it is, and try to get the contact. And it's a lot of times it's just not working. And I feel like the worst thing about that when he misses it and he doesn't get the foul,
Complain
it usually turns into a fast break situation for the other team, which
because
is
he
why.
don't run back. Like Bull just like
Very
stands there, do like
But yeah,
doing this.
when you miss layups, that kind of like leads to a fast break for the other team.
Mm.
So like he's doing that multiple times a game, and it's just, dude, come on, man. Like you got to understand, like that stuff's not working right now.
It's not 2015 no more.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Um,
he doesn't really have the lift anymore, and then again, like a lot of the times he just doesn't explode off the dribble like he used to.
facts. So thank you. We have 5 Bulls in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, now 6. Leave a like if you can. For the last 7 minutes or like so. We are going to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Lyric, yo, Yin, do you remember me from the game? Yeah, bro. What's good? Appreciate you for sliding through, my brother. But if we have more questions, just put them in the chat. But in the meantime, what is your predictions for game 2? Do you think we win, lose, close game, blowout? X Y Z. What do you think?
I feel like we can win this game again. I think it's gonna be a little bit closer. I don't expect Toronto to just to fall down and die.
Facts.
They're gonna hit us back with something. So I just hope we can play through that. And again, like we got hit with a little bit of adversity when they started to make that comeback, and then James Harden actually made some plays.
Like two, it was like 2
Yeah.
Jones. It was like a layup.
And yeah, get the step back 3 again if it's falling.
Also the assist John too. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
was a beautiful pass to Maxey on the fast break. And yeah, I just hope to again we got to assert our dominance early. If they're playing small, Embiid's got to be 2 feet in the paint. Again, I even though Embiid shot, I think it was 5 for 15. Like it really didn't seem like he shot that many times. I think he only took like 3 jumpers the entire game, and a lot of his misses are actually like I feel like he misses a lot of layups. If I'm being honest.
Mm.
So like if he cleans that up, he's going to be even more dominant. So yeah, I have a good feeling. I said Sixers in 6 before the series. I think
You want to change that
I want to see what happens in this game first.
tonight? Facts.
Yeah. But if anything, the Barnes injury,
because he was playing
he was playing pretty well.
He almost had a triple double. 25, 20 something, 10, and 8 before he got hurt. So he's going to be a big, loss on Taranto's end.
I'm looking forward to see what they
throw at us.
He's gonna get those minutes because he's a key player for them. And Trent Jr. He kills us a lot. He's not gonna be out there tonight. And I feel like again, I think they're gonna come out swinging, and we just gotta stand and fight with them, man.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do think the player that we should watch out for tonight is Van Fleet. I feel as though he was he was talking mad smack towards Embiid after he got his six foul. So I think he's going to be coming out swinging. But just like you, I am interested to see who fills in for Barnes, because that's going to be an important spot for the Raps. Also, I'm interested to see how does Glenn adjust again. Glenn is still on the clock. And game 1. Congrats, boy, coached well. But now it's just to continue that stream. There was one more thing that I was going to ask you, but I legit forgot. We have 3 minutes left. If we have more questions in the chat, do so now or hold your peace until the end of the game, because we are going to come back for a post game show. Q will not be here with us, but he shall be here in the future, I hope. Because he talk ball mad smart brains, bro. Mad smart brains. But with that being said, I do think that the squad will come out on top during game 2. So we shall see.
Oh man, this is this is so bogus, man. Especially with the Scotty play. If you watch the play and Embiid is trying to spin out of that I think the double, or they sent the double with Scotty, why would he purposely step on someone's foot knowing that he can possibly injure himself doing that? How many times have we seen that happen in the league where someone steps on somebody's foot and
his joint, right?
Yeah, that. Why would he? Yeah, that's just Raptors fans being mad, man.
What's good, Coles? Yo, that's my Neo. What's good, man? Appreciate you for coming through. But I think that's about wraps it up. Thank you so much for coming through to the pregame show. We shall be back after the game, and hopefully the squad will have picked up a dub and make this jaunt 2-0. So you have any last thoughts, words, if you want. If not, that's fine.
Keep the pressure on, man. Don't let up, man. I'm tired of the blown leads and underperforming, man. It's just can we get something nice going on for once.
Most definitely. Well, once again, we appreciate you, dog, for coming through and not spreading, but sharing your ball knowledge. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Most def. And I will see y'all tonight after the game. Go Sixers. Y'all better not lose. Most def. All right, y'all.
See you, man.